This is the final award of the night, and I stand between you and going home. Thank you very, very much. This is a great honor. I'm very, very proud to be up here today. This award is not about me. It is about the people who work at Geotab. Geotab is a company of its people. We don't have buildings. We don't have materials. We don't have machinery. We really are the people that work there, and we're very, very proud that Oakville is our home. I want to give you a little bit of a story about how we ended up here in Oakville and why we're here. Maybe it'll let you think a little bit about an outside perspective of where Oakville is in the world. As you can hear by our funny accents, we come from afar, South Africa, and I had a business in South Africa and sold the business. Well, wanted to sell the business at the point when I was getting married to my wife, and we wanted to have kids in a safe place. And so I remember having a barbecue with the family, and I'm an engineering nerd, so I prepared for them a very large report surveying all of the countries in the world where we could possibly move to. And we looked at everything. I spoke to people who went to all of the countries, interviewed them. I looked at the United Nations survey. I looked at crime statistics. I analyzed everything. And needless to say, we picked Canada as being the place we wanted to come and immigrate. And we agreed as a family to go to one location. So Canada was it, so we could all move together. And we essentially started Geotab when we came over as a way of the family coming in and an opportunity for the family. And it was really a business that started out of the basement. I remember Colin, who was one of the founders with us, Tammy would have some friends over and she'd be sitting in the lounge with their friends, and Colin was at the dining room table listening to the conversation. Every now and then he'd pipe up and say something while he was working. And it's really nice to see today where we are, which is a very, very large company, 650 people. Our revenues last year were $250 million US. We are a world leader in this space, highly regarded all over the world. Just maybe an interesting stat that's kind of just to put in perspective what we're talking about. If you take every single vehicle that has a Geotab device in it and you park them bumper to bumper, there'd be a line of vehicles that were parked stretching from New York down to LA and back again. Right? So it's just phenomenal to think about the number of vehicles that we have connected. And that's leading to some very, very interesting things. Like, for example, we're working with a lot of the smart cities. All the New York vehicles have Geotab devices in it. And the collaboration with the cities is, how do we create the cities of the future? How do we make sure the intersections are safe? Where do we put our roads? How do we build our roads? How do we prioritize traffic? And it's nice to be at the forefront of a lot of that research. We are pioneering and leading the way in many of that data analytics, big data. So the kind of people that we employ here at Geotab are really, world leading in their field now. PhDs, big data scientists, engineers. And so, I think these are the jobs that we're looking for in the future. And as Lindy said, my sister, it's a family business. There's lots of causes in the business. That this is a fantastic place to be. We picked Oakville as being the best place that we could possibly, Canada #1 and Oakville #2. So, you should all feel very, very proud of where you are. I think sometimes, when we live in it and, this is part of who we are, we don't realize how lucky we are to actually be here and what an amazing place this is. Both in terms of opportunities, place to bring up your kids, family values. It is a phenomenal place, and it's wonderful. So I think, the other thing that's maybe interesting is I'm sitting next to Tim, Oakville Chamber of Commerce, and Tim and I were having a conversation about why do people join the Oakville Chamber of Commerce. And, it's interesting to think about it, and, my answer would be rock stars and actors. And why I say that is, I think that not the problem in the world, but this is something that is very, very real. All of the recognition, ends up being placed at the feet of pop stars and actors. And what people don't always appreciate, it's the entrepreneurs in the room here, even the ones that didn't win, that take, their lives, they put it on the line, they gamble, they work hard, they're the ones taking the risk. We taught as kids, as we grow up, don't climb up on the stairs. Be careful. Don't do that. So we avoid risk. And it's only the boldest that go out there and take the big chance and put their life on the line and try and grow a business. And when they succeed, they are creating the economies of the future. They are the ones that are making the jobs. And those jobs don't come from anywhere, but those entrepreneurs who started the companies, who create the engine. And we don't always appreciate that. And so what is so important here tonight, and I don't know if everybody recognizes it enough, and I know it's a long night and we recognize everybody, but this is what matters, right? The sponsors who are recognizing the entrepreneurs, even the nominees, the Oakville Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club, this is what matters, and we must not forget that this is what generates the economies. This keeps our families fed and looks after our families, and I think that's the most important part. So anyway, thank you for listening to me, and really, really appreciate the honor. Thank you, everybody.